Welcome back to the channel. Today, I wanted to discuss something with you real quick. I was going to make it a short, but it's probably going to go over 1 minute, so I figured I'd bring it to you in this. So it's going to be shorter than normal, but longer than a short. All right, so if you were not at the CCDL meeting Tuesday night, then you missed a great time. It was a Christmas party. There was a bunch of people there from the 2A community throughout Connecticut, and even Robert Hyde, who is running for the Senate against Chris Murphy, who's just a tool. But everyone got the hobnob with Mr. Hyde, see what his stance were, or his stance is on the Second Amendment, so on and so forth. It was really great. Attorney Cameron Atkinson was there, who last month was giving like an amicus brief or whatever it was for the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. I think that's what it's called, for the CCDL, with a whole bunch of stuff. Basically, when New York asked for, in order to get a permit to carry a gun, you had to give them access to all your social media accounts. So they were arguing against that type of stuff. But that's neither here nor there. Here's the point of the video. So we all know back in June when HB 6667 was passed, they did a bunch of bad stuff, which we already discussed in other videos. But they also opened up the large capacity magazine, standard capacity magazine, or the LCM, the registry. They opened it up again for those residents who may have accidentally come across forgotten magazines. They may have found it in a closet or the back of a safe or whatever. All right, they changed a few things about it, but needless to say, they opened it back up. So when is SLFU or DESPP going to put out the paperwork for us to register all these magazines? Because last time they did this in 2014, I think less than 20% of the people actually did this. But say you're one of those few that really just is gluttoning for punishment, and you really want to register those standard capacity magazines that you have. So when are they putting it out? Because, well, as we all know, the cutoff date is January 1st, 2024. They all have to be declared by then. If not, the way the law changed was, it used to be if you were a prohibited person, then it was a Class D felony. However, if you were someone who was eligible to have a permit in the state of Connecticut, it was a $90 fine, and it was a Class A misdemeanor. The law changed. Now, everybody gets a Class D felony if you are caught with what the state has deemed or defined as a large capacity magazine. So that's any magazine that holds more than 10 rounds, right? At the range, if you do have these and you've declared them, at the range you can max out your magazines to a full 30. Shoot, have fun, whatever. In your own home, you're able to have these magazines loaded to a standard capacity of 30 or 17 or whatever the magazine is. All right, you can max them out. However, if you have this magazine and you are, say, leaving your home and going to the range, and maybe you're like me and you like to preload mags, those magazines cannot be loaded past 10 rounds. So when you get to the range, you're going to have to load them back up. When you get home, if you're using these for home defense, you're going to have to max them back out. In between, you're only allowed to have 10. It's neither here nor there. All right, so the question is, when are they going to release the paperwork? Okay, which you're looking at DESPP form 788-C, Appendix A revision for 8/17/23, August 17th, 2023. As I'm filming this, like 5 minutes ago, prior to getting down here, I went back on the SLFU website. Nothing's on the front page. When you go digging through and you go to the tab of Firearms and you scroll down and you're able to find the section that talks about LCMs, when you click that, your declaration, the form is from 2013. So that's the old form. It's not updated. So when is the updated one coming out? Who knows? But the cutoff date is, well, coming up very shortly, since today is the 14th of December, and they all have to be in by January 1st. So at this meeting for CCDL, this was brought up, and they said during the meeting that the form is out. They just haven't released it on the website, so people like you and me can't get access to it. A lot of people, what they're doing is they're emailing SLFU and asking for it, and then they're emailing the form to them so they can do their declaration. The form looks just like this. All right, it's pretty simple, and at the bottom, it gives you the revision date of August 17th, 2023. So this is the official new form. Well, lucky for you, so you don't have to email SLFU, because I always recommend don't talk to these people. On Reddit, Haven Rogue has put it up on CT Guns. So you can either get it from Reddit, or down in the description below, I'll have this form for you to download. All right? And then it's going to talk about proof of purchase, that you purchased these before the original 2014 date. Now, who's got receipts from back then for magazines? I'm sure nobody does. So what you need to do is you need to fill out an affidavit saying that you bought these magazines prior to 2014. Now, we all know that magazines don't have serial numbers and all that. So this affidavit is swearing, you're swearing to it, that you bought these prior to 2014. Unlike the other registration, as in the Connecticut other registration, where you could just fill out that affidavit and it didn't have to be notarized. This one has to be notarized by a notary. So, who's got that? Because everyone always asks, what's it look like? What's it supposed to look like? Do I need to get a lawyer? Well, on Reddit again, under CT Guns, Loose Koala 534 has provided a Google Doc affidavit for you to download, fill out, and before you sign it, take it to the notary, sign it. The notary will sign it, saying, hey, it's you, and you signed it. And then you would include that with this form. Now, you cannot do this electronically. All right, so you have to type or print and then submit proof of the purchase prior to January 1st, 2014. It says up there. All right. So you have to either mail or delivered this completed form to the Department of Energy Services and Public Protection, DESPP. All right, the SLFU unit, it's on Country Club Road in Middletown. So you need to bring your affidavit and this form, and they give you a little example how to fill the form out, and you have to deliver this to them, declaring your magazines. And I guarantee you, they're going to close early because Christmas is coming up. So don't think you can show up, 2 or 3 days after Christmas and try and get this in. So if you're going to do this, you're going to have to get it in sooner than not. So again, all of this is going to be in the description below. I don't know how many people are going to comply with this. Luckily for me, I don't own standard capacity magazines. All of mine are 10 rounders. They are completely state compliant. That being said, guys, if you're going to do it, I've provided the paperwork for you via Haven Rogue and Loose Koala 534 from Reddit in the CT Guns subreddit. All right. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch. Links are all down below. We have some Christmas merch out, but most of the merch is for year round. All right. It helps us keep doing and providing all the information, such as this, to you. All right, that's all I got. Like I said, it's longer than a short, but not as long as the rest. All right, new videos coming out here shortly. You guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.